Every day is a new day. We wake up, we get ready, and we go. We live in a world filled with social encounters, and some of those interactions will be good and some not so good. As human beings, we have something so incredible and unique, and that is our emotion, our ability to feel, to think, and to comprehend one another, and to react in certain ways to each other. Sleep sometimes is underemphasized or overlooked, but its importance is crucially impactful to our daily lives. For this project, I wanted to explore the effect that lack of good sleep might have when reacting to opposing viewpoints. I believe this is an important aspect to consider when we learn about the detrimental effects poor sleep has on our overall decision making. In the current state of our world, there are a lot of opposing viewpoints, especially in regards to vaccinations. Looking at the effect poor sleep has in our social encounters might put into perspective how others might be reacting to our views and how we ourselves are treating those around us when we experience disagreements. I based my project after an article that looked into the differences in endorsements of surgeon punishment and patient compensation in rested versus sleep-restricted groups. It gave multiple scenarios where a physician makes a medical mistake like operating on the wrong body part or leaving a surgical instrument, and he found that those that experienced sleep restriction significantly chose maximum punishment for the physician and maximum compensation for the patient. What I wanted to do was continue exploring how a lack of good sleep might affect our decision making, but more specifically affect how we might react to a person when having a passionate difference of opinion. So I recruited 6 individuals and divided them into 2 groups. I had them all do a sleep diary for the next 4 days. The first 2 days were used just as a baseline, and the next 2 days were the experimental days, where I had one group sleep at least 8 hours total, and the other group sleep 6 hours or less. Each morning around 7 a.m., I sent them an electronic copy of the sleep diary to help with participant compliance and decrease potential recall bias. They were all able to complete the sleep diaries and stay within their experimental range of sleep. On the last day, I had everyone complete a questionnaire with the choose scenarios and then the Shoot Self-Report Emotional Intelligence test. The SSEIT is a multi-dimensional scale that is a measure of trait-based emotional intelligence. It measures 4 distinct factors: optimism, mood regulation, appraisal of emotions, social skills, and utilization of emotions. Scores range from 33 to 165, and the higher scores indicate more characteristics of emotional intelligence. The reason I added this to my methods was because literature, such as this study, indicates that sleep loss will have a major effect size for those with an average emotional quotient, while those with a high emotional intelligence won't let sleep loss affect them in a huge way in the context of moral dilemmas. Now, in this questionnaire, I presented 2 scenarios. The first one was this. A person walks up to you and says, "I think these vaccine mandates are stupid and no one should tell me what to do." And the second one was, a person walks up to you and says, "Why isn't everyone vaccinated? Don't people believe in science? People are dying because they won't get the shot." To each scenario, I asked participants if they agree with this statement, how they would rate this person on their behavior, if this person's behavior makes them feel angry, if this person should be ostracized for their behavior, if this person should be forgiven, and then I asked them to spend a couple minutes thinking about the scenario and writing how they feel. Similar to moral dilemmas, the object of interest is not the decision itself, but the reasonings as to why they chose the way they did. I hypothesized that those that are sleep restricted will react more harshly to the opposing viewer. With lack of good sleep, research has shown that one becomes more impulsive and emotionally reactive. But these were my results. For the first scenario, all the participants ranged between strongly agree and somewhat agree with this statement. The sleep-restricted group rated the person as aggressive, and the control 8-hour group rated the person as assertive. All 6 participants except one said that they did not at all feel angry. The only one that did rate feeling somewhat angry also said that they somewhat disagreed with the scenario and was in the sleep-restricted group. Furthermore, what was the same across both groups was that they said the person should not be ostracized and should be forgiven. They then gave very thoughtful explanations as to their feelings and decisions. For the second scenario, 2 participants in the sleep-restricted group disagreed with the person, and they rated feeling somewhat angry. In the control 8-hour group, one person also disagreed and also rated feeling somewhat angry. For all other participants in both groups, they rated feeling not at all angry. And once again, all said that the person should not be ostracized and should be forgiven. They continued giving very well thought out explanations. All the participants seemed to be very passionate people. I was very interested in looking at their reasonings, and all gave very sophisticated answers, indicating passion, intelligence, and a strong sense of morality. And this was all made evident by their emotional intelligence score. All of them scored between 100 and 131 out of a total score of 165, which are all considered high scores. Perhaps for these individuals, they will not let sleep deprivation get in the way of their morals and reasoning. Now, while there are a number of potential confounds with these results, I believe there should be further research to look into the possibility that sleep loss can have a detrimental effect to not only our decision making, but also the way we interact with those that we disagree with.